Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury and Bulldog Nation, all of you know that I love history, and this is my first history show that I'm going to give with my new format. And it's this. So many people say that the South could not have won the Civil War, and they always speak about the great might of the industrial North, more men, so forth and so on. You know what? That same argument could have been made in the American Revolution when we were fighting the British. I thought of something that I've never heard anyone yet speak about relative to the Civil War. I recently studied Civil War from the beginning to the end recently by listening to a history documentary in my truck while I drove around. Did it over the course of weeks. And the thought occurred to me, what if the Confederacy never fired on Fort Sumter? Think about that. What did Lincoln say in his first inaugural? He said, war's not going to come because they do anything. The Union wasn't going to do anything. What if the Confederacy said, we're just going to ignore Lincoln, we're going to ignore the Union, we're going to ignore the federal government down here in the South, but we're not going to fight a war, we're not going to fire any shots? What would have happened? Just think about that. I've never heard any historian ask that question. Because let's face it, firing on Fort Sumter started the hot war. What if they didn't? What if they just let it alone? Okay, Union, you can have Fort Sumter. We're not going to fight you. We're just going to ignore you. What if they just ignored them? Interesting, isn't it? And then there's more. It cracks me up how they think, well, the North was going to win. No, they weren't. You know, in the first battle of Bull Run, Beauregard wanted to go on to the Capitol. Now, are you telling me that if the first battle of the Civil War resulted in the South taking Washington, D.C., wouldn't it change the course of that war? Jefferson Davis wouldn't let him do it. He had the Union on the run. They stopped. What if Europe, France, England, it was a battle throughout the whole war. Lincoln was worried about it. What if they would have joined? By the way, Charles Francis Adams, one of the sons of John Adams, was instrumental in keeping them out of the war. But I got to ask you this question. What if France and England joined the South? What if Lee was successful at Gettysburg? What if Jubal Early, late in the war, wouldn't have stopped outside of Washington? He waited one more day and Washington got reinforced. Jubal Early could have taken Washington. Anyway, this isn't relevant to anything going on today. It's just something that I love, history. And when I have something unique and original to say, I'll do a video about it. And I just wanted to point that out. You history buffs got to agree with me. Think about that. What if they just never fired on Fort Sumter and said, we're not going to fight you either, Lincoln, but we're going to ignore you? There might have never been a war. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Have a great day.